And the divides were there, and the divides were never so deep and so chasm-like as on the issue of Iran. And this goes back to the worldview. The president, when he comes into office in 2009, one of his first acts of office is to give a New Year's greeting to the Iranian people. He comes out and says, I want to get onto a different page with Iran, recognizes Iran's right, first of all, to have a peaceful nuclear energy, later to actually enrich uranium, which, by the way, not many countries in the world do. And this is a problem for the state of Israel. And that's an understatement that it's a problem. Why is it a problem? First of all, understand what the Iranian nuclear program means for us. It is not just one existential threat. It is several existential threats. The obvious one is that they break out or sneak out of whatever restrictions have been placed on them, and they make a bomb. According to the program on the ground, the deal that's been proposed, it'll take them a year. According to an op-ed piece that appeared in the New York Times earlier this week by one of the nation's leading experts on the subject, Alan Cooperman, they could do it in less than a month. That's too short for us. It's just too short. The Iranians already have intercontinental ballistic missiles that can reach. They can reach most of Central Europe, but they can certainly reach any city in the state of Israel. And those missiles have one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to carry a nuclear warhead. And we are a one-bomb country. We are the size of New Jersey. That's it, only one bomb. But that's only the beginning of the threat. The threat continues. The threat is that once Iran gets the bomb, the terrorists get the bomb, because Iran is the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. Iran is sponsoring terrorism on 5 continents, now in 35 cities. During my time in Washington, they threatened to blow up my embassy. They threatened to blow up the Cafe Milano. Irrespective of what you think about the Cafe Milano, they were going to blow it up in Georgetown. This is serious. They were going to kill hundreds of people. This is the Iranian regime. So the terrorists will get it, and you don't have to worry about a missile. You can have a nuclear weapon coming in a ship container. And once Iran gets the bomb, everybody gets the bomb. Egypt gets the bomb, Saudi Arabia gets the bomb, Turkey gets the bomb. Israel finds itself living in a nuclear neighborhood which is profoundly unstable, and who knows who's going to be controlling these countries in the coming years. So it's multiple existential threats for us. Now, does this mean we couldn't talk to the administration about the Iranian issue? No. The answer is absolutely no. We did talk, and we had an intimate, continuing dialogue. I participated in these talks. They're classified, but I'll tell you this. They were very candid, and we looked at the same data, and we derived some of the same conclusions about the nature of the program, what the Iranians had, what they could do with what they had, and what amount of time. Very, very similar conclusions. Where did we differ? We differed over structural issues. And this is going to sound so simplistic, and I apologize, okay? But America, brace yourself. America is a big country. America's a big country. It's far away from the Middle East. It's not threatened with national annihilation by the Iranians. And America has the largest military capabilities in the world. You have B-2 bombers. You've got aircraft carriers. Wonderful things. Israel is a small country. We are located in the backyard of Iran. We are threatened with genocide weekly by the Iranian leadership. And while the IDF is this wonderful army, it's twice as big as the French and British armies combined. It's a wonderful army. But we don't have strategic bombers. We don't have aircraft carriers. So our margin for error over Iran is exactly zero. Still, we cannot afford to make the slightest mistake on this. America has some leeway. It really does. But in addition to the structural differences, there were the ideological and conceptual differences. And maybe these were the most important differences of all. What do they say? The president has gone on record, and it's good to be my skills as an historian, I always go back and look for quotes, but the president actually talks a tremendous amount about his feelings and his perceptions, so I don't have to do much research. It's just have to quote him. He has called the Iranian regime a rational regime. It's anti-Semitic, but it's rational. That he believes that if properly engaged, the Iranian regime, Iran can be a responsible regional power. It can actually help resolve the conflict between Sunnis and Shiites. It operates on a cost-benefit basis. That contrasts that with Israel's position. Israel's position in Iran, though it sometimes takes rational steps, those rational steps are geared to achieve insane goals, and among them the destruction of my country, and that they are a messianic jihadist cult-type regime that is supporting terror and all the things that I've spoken away. The president has said openly that Iran is not North Korea. Prime Minister Netanyahu has said that Iran is worse than 50 North Koreas. Okay, so how big a gap can you get? conceptually. How big a gap conceptually? And the gap widened perhaps unbridgeably, starting in November of 2013, when it became clear that the United States had been negotiating without telling Israel, with Iran secretly, and had reached an interim agreement that would preserve the infrastructure of the Iranian nuclear program. All of the centrifuges, many of them would be detached, but they would still be there. They wouldn't be dismantled. And that all the facilities would also remain intact. Some of them would be altered so much to remain them less lethal. But the actual program would be retained. And the biggest problem from Israel's perspective was that there was no connection between lifting settled sanctions, which have been put into place over the course of a decade, lifting sanctions, any change in Iranian behavior. They didn't have to give up terror. They didn't have to give up trying to undermine pro-Western governments in the region. They didn't have to give up trying to destroy us. That was a true problem for us.